Well, hello there and welcome back to the channel. It's Perry here, and I just wanted to thank you guys for following along in this fun journey of reef keeping, specifically for you acro heads, acro nerds, stick heads, fellow acro lovers at heart. This is the channel that you may want to tune into because it's my passion and it's specifically what I do. So with that being said, I just wanted to also thank all of you guys for being a part of this journey with me. So today I just wanted to give a couple shouts out because it's important to show the love where the love is due in this hobby. It's all about showing love. It's all about appreciating what everyone else is doing. If you're winning, if your tanks are thriving, your corals are thriving, and your fish are thriving, and you're happy, man, you're doing something great, and a full round of applause to you. You deserve all the credit in the world. Show love. This is a hobby of uniting, not a hobby of separation. All right, so with that in mind, my brother from the Northeast, Nick, thank you so much, brother. It's so nice to have met you and to have gotten to know you, and you are a wonderful soul, and it's an honor to have gotten to know you, sir. Matt, NSB Reef, equally, you're a local brother. We grew up around the same time frame in the same area, and how we didn't know each other or know our same circles and the same culture, everything. But much love to you, brother. I really appreciate you being a local, us sharing coral, sharing passion, having phone calls and talking it up and chopping shit. Bro, thank you. Much love to you. All right, moving along. Tim Jen Burglar, you've been following me forever, brother. I appreciate you. Dom from Australia, Rangi on Reef to Reef. Much love, brother. I appreciate you, man. You always say the kindest things. Richard, honored, taken back by the fact that you're over here on my channel, brother, because I've always looked up to you since back in the days of Reef Central. You know, we've been doing this a long time, bro. Thank you for stopping by and being a part of this. And those of you who don't know, Richard comments often on my videos, and this is the guy who coined the Jackson tenuous, which is most badass tenuous out there. So that beautiful Jackson's rainbow tenuous that you hear Reef Bum and that you hear Chris Meckley talk about from ACI. That's the tenuous, and that's the guy, right? And so thank you for being around and a part of the channel. Guy, man, G. Brunel, this dude is a loyal follower and a wonderful guy, a new father recently, and he follows me with mad love and passion. I know he follows me here as well. So he goes by G. Brunel, I believe, on Instagram. Bert Minshew, thank you for always following along on IG. Who else? On here, Queen City Reef, just to think of a few off the top of my head. Ed, gosh, a reefering on Reef to Reef. Locally, Cole, even though he hasn't been around, much love, brother. Scott Moore, my buddy from Ormond Beach. That's my hometown, where I was born and raised in Ormond Beach. So that's a hometown acquaintance that became a friend through reefing. And yeah, I mean, there's more of you guys out there. All of you who post on YouTube and Instagram. Thank you so much. I just cannot tell you enough how much love I have for all you guys, and wish all of you the most mad success in your reefing journey, as well as everyone who takes part of this endeavor. At the end of the day, it's the animals. It's not our ego. I want to repeat that. And I want to make sure that you guys know who you're interacting with on this channel. It's about the animals. It's not about the ego. It's not about who has the most badass tank and the best color and everything else. You know, if you put the work in and you're diligent and you're patient and you do the right things with anything you choose to do, you will find success. And to pull your ego away and allow for this hobby to be about the animals is where the love and the uniting should come in. And unfortunately, there are times when it doesn't. But with that in mind, we won't think about the negative aspects. We're only going to celebrate the positives. And the positives are you and the audience. And my thank you to you for following along in this journey with me and working with me because you're helping for me to become better at what I do. Your questions and comments and everything, it requires me to dig deeper and to have a better sense. I haven't been as active, and I haven't been as active because I found gardening, and I'm a health fanatic. Nick, my ITAL brother from the Northeast, understands that my pursuit of being ITAL and to feed myself the most high quality nutritious foods known to the planet and to grow them myself and to take as best care of my health and work out as hard as I work out and do the things I do to drive my personal experience and to meditate and to fulfill that body, mind, and spirit. And that is my quest and my absolute journey. And this reefing part is just a part of the whole thing. And what it all boils down to for me is love of the animals. And some of you have asked me, you know, as we transition into the topic today, it's colors. And as we transition into that, it was based on a conversation I had earlier today with Matt in SB Reef. We had a conversation, and as he's contemplating the idea of transition and away from some of the things he's been doing, he's contemplating possibly doing a system similar. And I'm going to just tell you that I've always been a big subscriber of looking at this as an ecosystem. And that's what this is. And that's why I say the animals first. And I let in with that. And I let in for that for a reason. Because my animals are first and foremost the ones that you see swimming here. And those are the most colorful antheus I've ever laid eyes on, and I've ever been lucky enough to have in captivity. So my Bimac pair, they get fed, and my copper band, wait till you see, it's such a beautiful, beautiful fish. And right there, you can see them in the center of the screen. These fish are fed amazing. Look at my female black clown over there, my ORA black clown. Look at her. She's absolutely stunning. All the fish in the aquarium are really tended to in a manner where they're delivered an inconsistent variety of food. Because like them, like you, we don't always want to eat the same thing. And so think of it, guys. If you eat a processed diet, what's your body going to look and feel like? But if you convert into a real diet, real food, and then you go even deeper, right, into nutrition, you start to realize your potential of vibrance in yourself, and spirit, and vibrance in life. I look at this the same way. So of course my dogs get fed a very healthy food. My fish get fed the best foods I can. So let me run down my fish food. My fish food is a mix of Dinkins, LRS, Reef roids, PE mysis, and Hikari mysis. Occasionally some lobster. You know, I want to make sure that I do what I can to deliver the highest quality nutritious fish food. Why? Because by doing so, I've now eliminated the need for any bottle supplements, including most trace minerals. And here's where you're going to question, and I'm going to tell you that this is as simple as it gets for me. I dose ProBioS, which is Aquaforest probiotic bacteria. I dose their carbon source, which is NP Pro, at 6 drops a day in my system. Every 3 days, I use KZ Flatworm Stop at about a milliliter, and it probably calls for daily at 4 for my system. So I'm at like 25%. Just a little shot. And every so often I'll put a few drops of sponge power in because it's definitely good stuff. And then I do water changes. I don't need to put trace minerals in, mainly because I don't have enough pull on main ions or main minerals that it qualifies or constitutes a need for trace minerals, because they're always supposed to be going in at a fraction rate. So that we can get into trouble with that. So I want us to start thinking of this tank here, this box, and whatever goes in, we need to be really conscientious for the health and the system itself. What are we putting into this box? Would we put it into our body? If you won't put it into your body, don't put it into that box. And if you treat that the same way you treat the box, would you put those pellets in your system? Would you put GFO in your mouth? I know it sounds extreme, but I don't think it's as necessary as we make it out to be with all these things. I feed a high quality fish food. I believe in bacteria. I believe in a carbon source. I have since 2007. 6 actually, when I started studying zeovit. I've gone down the rabbit hole of understanding the soil and the web of the soil and how that works. I've found correlations between that and the gut. In fact, some bacteria are actually the same between all three. So with that in mind, I kind of treat my soil, my reef, and my body the same way. High quality inputs, high quality output. Feed the fish really good. Watch what happens to your system, as you don't need lipids and fatty acids to be dosed in this formula, that you don't need vitamins to be dosed in this formula, that you don't need aminos dosed into that formula, that you don't need 10 bottles for trace minerals. Why on trace minerals? If the fish are fed a high quality fish food that's a wide array of different animals from the sea, then they're getting all the trace minerals, because those animals are comprised, their shells and crustaceans and their skeletons and everything else are comprised of the same thing that the reef needs, same thing that the structure of the skeleton of the coral needs, the same structure as your bones and what they need, right? All the minerals and all the trace minerals. So that's chemistry. But how does it get wrapped into it? It's because those foods are digested by the fish, and that serves to the bacteria as a food source. So then the bacteria begins working on that as a food source, and then of course the polyps that are dancing constantly when carbon and bacteria source dosing are capturing that as food constantly. So there's always something available in the system. One of the reasons why I decided to go back to sand, because an occasional stir, an occasional whatever from a critter, that's actually serving as a food source. So that's a whole different topic. But again, it's an ecosystem. So I'm looking at this from start to finish as an ecosystem. I am trying to feed my fish first and foremost. Because if my fish are happy and healthy, whatever they shit is going to make the rest of that ecosystem happy and healthy, until the protein skimmer and the filter sock and the carbon passively in my sump decide to work everything else out, as well as the live rock and the sponges and all that crap that's all loaded on that live rock in the sump is all getting a crack at whatever I'm feeding my fish, and then skimmed out. And then I take my protein skimmer and I dump it on my compost. Talk about closing loops, huh? So I don't know that this becomes so entirely necessary, and I'm not trying to have anyone out there reach out and say, Perry, can you tell me your program? Because I'm telling you right now, relax, take a breath, think about this like you would think about your body. If you care, you're going to feed feed them fish and everything, a high quality food. And in turn, they're going to give you everything or those supplemental bottles need to do. It's the same thing as why I don't need to take vitamins like I used to. Because now I have living soil growing on my property, and I have all the herbs and all the vegetables and everything that are now delivering to me everything that I would need to buy supplementally. So this is the correlation, and this is my pursuit for health and vitality, and for having the best version I can strive to be of myself. In pursuit of that, these correlations have been drawn, and not since so recently. So I don't want to come off as somebody who knows anything, because I don't know shit. Not about reefing. I don't think, none of us can really know until we can stop having these things RTN overnight for no reason. But I don't know anything about it, and I don't know anything about health and fitness, and I don't know anything about gardening, but I know enough through the experiences of trying to do them. I know things that do work, and I'm just sharing with you based on questions I get about how I'm pulling colors, and that's it. And so thank you for being a part of the journey. I wanted to simplify it because there's nothing much to it. Keep your chemistry stable, alkalinity, whatever method you're doing, that's a bucket. Keep your biological stable. That's a bucket. Plenty of flow. No wild temperature shifts. Just let the tank be. Let everything be the way it was supposed to be. And stop letting your test kits tell you to stop putting things into that box that are unnecessary, instead of patience and observation. Those are the things that will help guide you to becoming more understanding of these creatures and these animals. Because at the end of the day, I think they deserve better than anything that we could even provide, because we've ripped them from their home, which is a completely different environment. They've traveled overseas, and now we have them for decorations. And you know what? I mean, it is a badass hobby. But you got to think about that ethical side of, the right thing to do. And the right thing to do is, if you're going to do that, do the right thing. Do the best you can. Take care of them. Shout out to Scott Moore. He's getting back in the hobby, and he had some problems. He got out for a while. He let his tank run, but he continued to take really good care of his fish the whole time, even though his corals perished. That's what I'm talking about. So thanks for following along. Before we end, I want to give some better close-ups so we can at least validate, this whole conversation about this color thing. So this is kind of like a side shot down my, smoothie row garden, if you will. But as you can see, I think you can start to hone in on the fact that, there are some really crazy weird colors, like that piece right there. I haven't really talked about it, and I'm not even gonna. I put it on IG. It's called Space Ghost from Battle Corals, and I don't know that that's the true representation of what it's going to be, but it has some craziness in it right now, and I think it's going to turn out to be quite a gem. And then then offset it with just such a crazy TGC. Which one is that? Gosh, that it's a milli. It's the I can't remember. Red Wing, TGC Red Wing milli. Ha! And then that Acro right there is one of my favorites. That's the tricolor. That's a regrow on it. I've never really talked about that one. That's my aquamarine jewel. I saved a little piece, and now it's going nuts again. Yeah, that's what happens. And so as we peruse around, look now, Master Yoda, Tenuouses popping off. So and it's again, it's very basic, not a whole lot in it, guys. I said I was really falling in love with gardening, and so this is kind of like a manifestation of me just leaving it the F alone, right? And just letting things be. And through my journey and my learning about these topics of, you know, of gardening and so forth, it really helped me to understand and draw these correlations. And after doing so, now I step back and I look at this and I'm like, it looks the best it's looked with the most with the least amount of tension it's gotten in a long time. And so yeah, that's it. And that's how I push colors. Again, I'm a big firm believer in a closed environment like this. Bacteria has a place, and it does in gardening. It does in our bodies. And, you know, like I'm a huge believer in probiotic bacteria in my body. I make my own kombucha. And I, you know, have all my live greens in the garden and all that stuff. I'm a, you know, massive believer in the gut health and that microbiome. And I believe that the soil microbiome, the reef microbiome, and the gut microbiome, in those three, we are looking at one in the same. Now I'm going to leave you with that, and I appreciate you guys for following. Thank you so much.